Hi, welcome to VYAPT Growth Series. This is season 3 and episode 26. In our growth series today, we have with us Benoit Lecuyer, the CEO of Prysmian India. Benoit has over 2 decades of experience and is a dynamic leader and has served in various countries of the globe. Join me to welcome Benoit. Namaskar.
Yes, good morning, Pankaj, and thanks for the invitation for this vibrant conversation on the existing actions in the cable industry and the future growth.
Thank you so much for accepting our invitation and being here at VAP Growth Series. And we have some curiosities today. You have been a fantastic leader, serving in various parts of the globe and with some, you know, some exceptional countries as well as some exceptional companies wherever you have contributed in the growth journey. So, my first question, which has to do with, what growth strategies which have been most effective in establishing a strong foothold in the cables and systems manufacturing industry? Where do you see the growth coming from, and how do you visualize the business going forward?
Yes, Pankaj, thanks for these relevant questions. First, I want to say that I am really blessed to work in India for the last 18 years, witnessing the dynamism, access to electricity to a lot of remote states and area, and the superb efforts that the government is pushing forward in terms of decarbonation and access to electricity in a much more sustainable way. See, when I joined Prysmian in the cable industry, the reason was very straightforward. Today, the world is more and more electric. In all area, from the morning when you go outside, you are in the elevator. Then you take your car, you go to the airport, you go to a mall, you take a plane, you are on a boat. All days are fitted with cables, low voltage, medium voltage, control, instrumentation, extra high voltage. And in this extent, the cable industry and we, Prysmian as a leader, is very happy to be committed and to deliver a lot of innovation. So clearly, by giving cables that are more efficient, less polluting, and also engaging with our stakeholder on scope 3, how to ease the end of life cables, how to optimize the cable performance is a magnificent journey. What I can say also is, as India is very much in the center of the world and prone to innovation, with all the key accounts, either they are Indian multinationals or worldwide multinationals, we manage to leverage very precise technical specs to manufacture at a large scale and to be more and more competitive. So I think in the future, either the cables will be also under the sea, where of course we have a lot of offshore wind green potential coming soon, which will take into consideration also the nature, the environment, how to transmit the electricity in a much more economical way, thanks also to a lot of partners in the substations, convert AC to DC, plus a lot of services that we can propose in the cable industry, make a lot of sense and is definitely an exciting journey.
You talked about the growth in this particular industry, and you also talked about how the growth is going to percolate in the future because of the lot of initiatives by the government and the growth in power sector as well as into telecom sector. Now, a lot of stress has been made into the sustainability part, or more from the the environment as well as the sustainable businesses as well. So, my second curiosity has to do around it. How can we drive sustainable business growth, and are there any emerging trends or areas of focus you foresee driving growth?
Yes. Um, Definitely, we can see that India is at the forefront and is a leader in sustainable energy. We are glad to see that every year the percentage of the renewable energy is increasing by 2 to 3% and has reached now around 26%. And in these renewable clusters, we have solar, we have wind, onshore and offshore in the next future. We have hydro. To some extent, we can call also nuclear. And in the future, some peripheral, which will be hydrogen and also energy storage. And other thing also that I can say is even in the infrastructures that the private EPC are developing, we can see that Cochin Airport is fully running on solar energy. When you are in the airports, they are committed to install or in the malls a lot of fire-resistant, fire survival cables with zero halogen, not polluting in order not to harm the environment. And it goes much beyond that. If we look today at the e-mobility, then every month around 400 electric buses are on the road, and that India is also the worldwide leader in terms of electric rickshaw with battery swapping. Again, here, Prysmian and the cable industry has a good role to play to provide very light, very efficient, more conductive cables for all those business clusters. And what is really amazing to see is all the startups that are emerging in this industry, such as Hexicon, Tata, Ula, and even on the pump petrol company today, they will try to change business model to put more and more charging station and then to provide entertainment area for the people, because obviously we all know that to charge a vehicle, it will take 20 to 30 minutes instead of before to fuel within 2 minutes. So I have read also recently a very good initiative that the Indian government wants to put forward is also on the electric boats, which of course can be less polluting and can be less harmful towards the environment. But it can be also in the world, and here we have a great example of partnership between France and India is in the aerospace. We can all be proud about ISRO in Bangalore, who is a leader to send satellite and rockets. And along with CNES in France, they try to develop extremely light, efficient data cables, which can give to a lot of stakeholders in weather forecast, in observation, how to anticipate the catastrophe of the tsunami. And the examples are endless. I read and I heard also recently a lot of good things on sustainability in the S social, and a lot of effort that India and France wants to put forward to get exchange of students in both countries, to allow the young ladies engineers to have rapidly access to their dream to join a company, but also to engage people regardless of their age, their religion, their origin, their skin color. And here, again, in sustainability, it's not only on the raw material, but it's also on social. How can we help orphans people to have access to education, How can we make their dreams realized? So it is again here endless examples that we can go forward. And I have read also a thing recently, a few good examples propelled by Minister Piyush Goyal on the IMEC corridor, which is Indian, Middle East, Europe, and France, which will be a mix of road, railways, sea, to go much faster and much economical to transport the goods instead of today to use systematically the Suez Canal, which very much busy, or the Hormuz Canal, which can be also prone to geopolitical activities. So, in terms of innovation, it touched upon the raw materials, the manufacturing, the dialogue between the leaders' country, Italy, France, India, etc., how to ease the transport of the goods in order to be faster and cheaper, and using, of course, less coal and more electricity, which can be coming again from renewables, solar, wind, onshore, offshore, or hydrogen.
So you talked about the sustainability of the growth, and you talked about the various ways and means through which this is going to happen, and how important this cable business in terms of manufacturing going to play a very very important role as we build the different things which the world is looking at, which is going to ease the way the world is working today. From the sustainability point of view, I move towards in terms of the employment point of view, both in terms of direct and indirect employment. The world is looking at the sectors to employ more people, both in terms of the direct and the indirect. So can you throw some light around it, looking at the diverse market you cater to? How crucial do you consider is the adaptation or localization of products or services to generate further employment? And are there specific technological advancements significantly contributing to the cable and systems manufacturing industry success?
Yeah. Absolutely, Pankaj, to touch this extremely important point. Here, I would like to quote one initiative that Prysmian Group has taken forward, which is a Prysmian University every year that we engage, who allows and enables thousands of students, and many Indians, by the way, to learn and get a godfather in different countries of the group. Would it be in Oman? Would it be in Malaysia, Singapore, India? And then can work in different factories and in different job functions, and then that we can relocate in the future if they agree in India. So this is an excellent way to pass on to the new generation the knowledge and the passion in order to make sustainable our initiative in the country. Another element that I think it's also extremely important is, I was mentioning before, is in the factories we have to enable a very rapid manufacturing on either it could be low voltage, medium voltage, control instrumentation cable to the EPC's company in a short lead time, and to reduce the manufacturing work in process stock, and using the best of the we can find on the market. Cables, it's like a nice, I would say, recipe. You have the copper, you have the aluminum, and all the added value is in the compounds. And today, in India, worldwide, Prysmian is engaged with research centers, university, to make this compound much more sustainable, less polluting, easy to recycle, more compact, in order to improve the whole channel, which is either scope 1, which is in our field, of course, in our factories in India. Scope 2, on the energy that we would buy, let's engage more in solar, wind, instead of getting it from coal. And step 3, with all our stakeholders. And here we are really enthusiastic to see that we have a lot of suggestion ID, even on the specifications. The client will propose to us what can you highlight in your materials, in your packaging, in your drums, in your transportation, what can be sustainable in order for us to be less polluting and to reach the Indian government high score. So I would say in the factory we have also for the future some idea like also how we can harvest the water during the massive rain season. Would it be on the roof or else? How should we engage to run some machines who consume a lot of electricity during the night in order to get access to a better and more cheap kilowatt hour, but also in the future to have access to probably solar rooftop, which here is a very interesting thing. And again, here India is at the leadership, is to say, let's occupy first all the rooftops, which somehow today is not really used, instead that to use a lot of open land, where we know that land acquisition can be a massive challenge in India. So we have a lot of initiatives that we can focus on, and where we are greatly, I would say, followed and challenged by the government, the states, the clients, in order to make our life better and to pass on to the next generation a better world.
That's a beautiful answer coming from you, Benoit, and thanks for sharing. The details around it. Obviously, this particular industry, obviously, it is serving a lot of many more industries in coming together to serve a better world. And I'm sure this is going to be a pivotal in terms of creating more employment across the globe, not only in India. After this, we'll move on to our next round, and we call this round as a flip round. And in this flip round, the guest becomes host and the host becomes guest. So one question coming from you has to be answered by me in 30 seconds time.
Yes, Pankaj. I read with a lot of interest about your company and your great initiatives that you put forward by advising and engaging the client, and this also webinars, which gives the possibility for the clients to know more. So I will have one question for you, which is, can you share with us a key turning point in your entrepreneurial journey, which led you to who you are today?
That's a very important question, Benoit, and thanks for asking this question, Benoit. Uh, when we started our journey, we were more of a people and organization practice company, limiting ourselves, our engagements only to the people part of the of a B2B domain. As we move forward, we found that there's a great scope into the business part of it, into the business consulting, because the world is looking at the consulting not only from the strategy point of view, but also to an implementation point of view. The organizations are looking at, can you help us not just with strategy but the implementation. So we saw that space, and we came quickly into it. We adapted to the kind of change with our fantastic team, and we worked in India and across the globe. By now we have worked with more than 200 clients in their growth narrative. Second important part, we call ourselves as a growth consulting company and not as a strategy consulting company, because we believe growth is the solution for various challenges the world is facing today. So I think the change of narrative, the working from not from the strategy part, but also from the strategy and implementation part, I think these were the two steps which actually changed the way people look at VYAPT, and actually, this actually helped us to reach to a stage what we are today. Thank you for asking this question.
Yeah, very inspiring, and which I am sure a lot of young diploma will think forward in their next actions.
Thank you so much, Benoit, for this question. I move on to our next round, which we call it as learning on the go. You have been an exceptional leader, Benoit. For wherever you have worked, you have provided the kind of growth and the transformation the company was actually looking at, and you are such an inspirational leader. One question to you is: can you narrate any incident or some incidences that have been uh, a source of incredible learning for you?
I will say that it's also turning around our conversation of today. It's most of the time our clients are extremely receptive and listening to improvement, new technology, and innovation. But time to time, it's challenging, and we have to improve and to give much more elements to convince them on some of our new technology. I will take one example, which probably will be on the grid hardening. What is grid hardening? Is today we know that we will need much more electricity. But much more electricity means that we have to get more underground cables. We have to transport and to get more cables, more substation. And here, it does not mean only to invest in all new cable. We can make also the cables better and to improve. This is where, again, here, Prysmian has brought some innovation by applying some specific material on the existing cable. So there is, of course, the new technology on the new material, but there is also how we can improve the existing one. And for example, to make the grid hardening much more robust to the thunderstorms, to the huge hurricanes that we have seen either in India, in Europe, or in France, and to avoid that one day to another we will have total blackout electricity. And here it comes with also preventive maintenance. And here also we have at Prysmian the technology which is to anticipate partial discharge on the cable, how we can do some preventive maintenance in order to avoid some blackout and to have one factory we would be in the dark during May Day. So here I would say it's on the convincing point that we have to be very sharp and precise and re-explaining to our clients that the payback can be very fast. Even if you invest a lot of money today, the payback can be fast and much more affordable than to get through a massive total shutdown in terms of campaign. So grid hardening, preventive maintenance activities, all the solution and technology exist, which we have at Prysmian, and we try with the whole team to be every day with our stakeholder and client much more convincing because sometimes people may not realize immediately that that is the hour of the day, the need of the day, sorry.
Yeah, so Benoit, you just talked about how important it is to keep on learning and to keep on pace with what is the world is looking today, and to stay relevant. And this is one lesson you just talked about in great detail. Thank you so much, Benoit, for being a part of VYAPT Growth Series. We enjoyed having you here on our platform, and it's lovely to have exchanged the information around the cable industry and how it is shaping the world in terms of helping them in energy segment, telecom segment, and otherwise. Wish you all the best in your journey ahead, and I wish your company Prysmian a very well defined success in years to come. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Pankaj, and again, thanks for the great initiative and wish you good luck on your next endeavor.
Thank you so much.